gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Then and Now program. I'm your host and presenter, Prince Emil Kroma. Coming to you today, Sunday, the 24th of March, 2019. This is an all-important series. It's short, it's quick, it's precise, and it comes in two parts. One, we're going to be talking about women in the driving seats today. So make a comparable analysis as opposed to then and the now, and what women are doing. And then the second part is an exclusive interview with the former ambassador to Ghana and presently the Secretary General of the All People's Congress, Ambassador Alhaji Foday Usman Yansaneh, in a very telling interview that everybody's supposed to listen. For those of you when they listen now, they ask you please share this video. Let's not be selfish. They will make sure they always compete towards them. They get a part for clip and the stick. As usual, before we start, let me wipe the floor clean with some music. Yeah. gentlemen, media empire, TNN, then and now channel, Prince Emil Koma, the council on today, the 24th of March, 2019, on a very important subject. It's going to be precise, it's going to be short, as usual, because tomorrow Monday, and it comes in two parts. What are these two parts? One, we get to talk about empowered women. We look at a brief historical analysis as to where our women were, usa we mama them in day, usa we sister them in day, as opposed to the time when they consigned to the backyard, and usa them day now when they don't become decision makers in our country and the world as a whole. The second part now, an exclusive interview by the former ambassador to Ghana under the All People's Congress and the current General of the All People's Congress APC party in an exclusive interview, something we exclusively say where most people not ever don't hear it before. Only on this channel, now then you go hear. So we ask ourselves, let we not be selfish, let we spread the video, let we share the video so other people will come for your this talk. On behalf of the channel again, me now a host and presenter, Prince Emil Koma. We go start shortly, but now play the same song we play for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then we'll kick off so we can get done with this. Thank you.
Oh, what a lovely model. 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 Ah, ah, ah. 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 Oh, what a lovely model. Ah, ah, ah.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we will flow. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we will flow in between English and Creole, because after all, we get a massive audience where many other people are involved. So again, let's not be selfish. Let's just be real. And I want to say thank you so much for those of you who have tuned in. But equally, they ask everybody else who don't tune in. Let's share the video. Let's spread the video. Let's invite others as we talk about women in authority today. And they talk about women in authority today, and that's what we're about for talk about. And let me just try for go straight to the point, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, you know, some time ago, it depends on the historical analysis who they base them on, but it's been like a long time ago. To some people, it's not been very long ago, and depending again on the historical analysis, it might not have been very long ago. But generally speaking, women, we mama them, we sisters, they were consigned to the backyard, if you understand what I mean. They were more like domestic people then, in the sense that they are either in the farms, helping the husbands to cultivate the land, to till the land, to harvest the yield, or they were at home tending to babies, children generally speaking, or just taking care of the household instead of going out to bring in. That was then. And during that particular period of time, because there's a lot that has gone on, percentage-wise, in African settings, due to a culture, the woman much more sit down na house. Now the man na in the go and fend for the family. All the woman is expected to do is to sort out the family, take care of the domestic side of things, bring up the children, clean up the house, provide food, and the rest of it. That's what the woman mostly was expected to do. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, because we talk about women them, and there are very, very many today, but we don't consign this thing to 5. It's going to be 10, but there will be a subsequent broadcast that will be next week, and then we will get the other 5. But today we want water and down to 10, and we go start from a descending order from 5, 4, 3, 2 down to 1. But at the same time, that does not inhibit, neither does it stop anybody else when they watch the program this evening. Those of us that are participating. Junior J, welcome to the program, my brother. I've noticed that you're really, really active and we're supposed to talk. By the way, send me your contact number. I know you are interested in talking about fashionable things, but there are many other things that you do talk about, politically speaking, economically speaking, socially speaking, and those writings of yours are brilliant. Your contributions are brilliant. So yes, I would like to have a word with you. Send me your contacts, like I promised, and I will call you, and then we can have a word or two. On another note, on tomorrow, I have been invited to attend the Diaspora Voices show, in which the host is a man whom most of us, I believe, know by now, but for those of us who don't know, he's called DJ Litu. He's invited me to his program, and I've accepted, proudly accepted, because it's another program in which you can go and enunciate or elucidate your position on where you stand with the community, politics, geopolitics, social, political, economic issues. So I'm proud to be attending. So tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, I will be there, and I'm asking all of you, those my fans, my followers, to tune in to DJ Little show tomorrow, because I will be there. I will send the link later after this broadcast or first thing tomorrow morning. I want to say a special thanks to somebody very, very special, and this is Sister Cleopatra Taylor. Cleo, how are you, my sister? Again, haven't seen you for maybe over 3 decades. Wow, that's quite a long time. But I've just noticed that you're watching the show. And Cleopatra Taylor, a very, very good sister that we go back like years, over 30, 40 years ago. I'm happy to see that you're on my show, and I'm happy to see that you're watching. Thank you so much for being there. Another person that I want to commend is Sister Aissatou Shaban, a brilliant, brilliant sister. I hope I'm not making an error, because not everybody likes for me to identify them. But as a matter of gratitude, when people tune in into the show, I like to, accept, the fact that they were able to tune into the show and recognize them. If you don't want me to recognize you, just make it known, and I wouldn't. But as a matter of appreciation and deep gratitude, this is why I'm doing this. So, Sister Cleopatra Taylor, welcome to the program. Sister Aissatou Shaban, welcome to the program. Another man that I would like to recognize as well is Evangelist Winston Crispy Weber, commonly known as TM. TM, I want to welcome you to the program, sir. I'm very, very proud of you, and I'm happy that you've just tuned into the program, and I want to say a big, big welcome to the program, sir, and thank you very much for tuning in. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, let's share this video wide and clear, because today, like I said, we want to talk about things in 2 perspectives, 2 aspects of things. One, we're going to be talking about our women, very powerful. We look at the historical context. Some time ago, our mothers, our sisters, they were consigned to the backyard, okay, in which they had, you had to play the domestic role. Just take care of the children, just cook the food, just clean up the house, just join me at the farm, and be an eye there for me. But many, many years on, it is a completely different story now, almost altogether, in which women have become powerful, very, very powerful. So I'm not talking about international women. It's more like on a domestic, side of things, which is, I want to zoom in on the country, Sierra Leone. So we're going to be profiling 5 women today. There is a list of 10, but we're going to profile 5 today, and there will be another 5 at some given time. Yeah. Thank you very much, Sister Aissatou Shaban, and welcome to the program. And by the way, on behalf of this channel, I want to use this platform to express our deepest sorrow to you at the loss of a loved one, okay? And to all the others who have tuned in onto this channel who've lost a loved one, I want to use this platform to say our deepest condolences to you and the family. Let's hold heart, because this is a process to happen to every one of us. Brother Lawrence E. Fox, welcome to the program. There is no part 3 that is part 3. Okay, look, Brother Fox, you're talking about something else, which is the interview that I had with the Secretary General of the All People's Congress, APC, Ambassador Alhaji Usman Foday Yansaneh. There were 3 parts to the interview. I believe I put those 3 parts, not sequentially, but those 3 parts are on the web for everybody to see and listen to. But at some given point, I'm going to post out the entire interview in one go so that people can find the time to listen. It was about an hour-plus interview. But today, what I'm talking about is about women in power. So I've zoomed in on 5 particular women, how women have come of age, how women have become very, very powerful. And then the second part will be Usman Yansaneh himself, the old man himself, Ambassador Foday Alhaji Usman Yansaneh, will be speaking directly to the diasporans, exactly what it is, the relationship between Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma and the current leadership of the country under His Excellency retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, the issue of Tusim, how it affected the All People's Congress, whether they lost the elections or not, the former Vice President Victor Fo, whether he's saying the truth or not, and the rest of it. So this is what we want to talk about. But let's get down to business quickly. I think I've said enough, okay? So like I was saying, women were consigned to the backyard, domestic. Either they take care of the house, they clean up the house, or they take care of the picking them, or cook. So when daddy come, daddy go eat. That was the general understanding, and that was a cultural thing. It was generally accepted. We need to understand this. That even during colonialism, because we like to ascribe colonialism as the period of time where arguably brings civilization to us. But then again, it will depend on waiting at that civilization there, because if you get your way of life and something else can tell you other thing else, and you have to veer away from your way of life, yes, there are good things that you will accept, and there are other things that you will question. But in this case, even colonialism or the Victorian values, if you will like, because these are things, here that are directly connected, Victorian values and colonialism. There's a nexus between the two, okay? In not helping this direction, in fact, it helped fulfill an adage, those of us we know and remember, or we listen to with daddy them and we granddaddy them, that women, there was an adage that said, women could be seen but not heard. I'm sure there are people in here who agree with me. Evangelist Crispin Weber, a senior brother, I believe they understand this adage. Going back then, women could be seen but not heard. So female leadership, it don't change or don't come in many, many dimensions. Remember, say, inside our historical aspects, you had women who were very, very, powerful, who were very, very dominant, who were very, very charismatic. Remember, these are attributes of leadership. So we get women them of this kind of stature, then we get strong character. We'll try for name a few, okay, like Madam Miyoko, for example. The chieftaincy has something to do with the chieftaincy. She was a very, very strong character, okay? And in some regard, she had some kind of education. We're not to, even though not to the way we define education as to today, but there was some kind of a cultural education in which she understood what she was doing. In other words, for you to become chief or leadership position, you have to hold some virtues. You have to have some understanding of your culture and your people and the rest of it, so that you go able for govern or rule. But these were limited, very, very, very limited. But gradually, as men started feeling in leadership, and all along, by the way, it not mean say women are not being powerful. Of course, they were always. But because of this cultural thing in which the women, even Victorian times, like I said earlier on, or colonial times, promotes that adage day, that you can see the woman. We didn't go sit down a parlor, for example. That might mean a pass night they pass. She can't sit down there. She will be passing. Passing what? To go and serve, to go and prepare, to go and instruct the backyard, the kitchen, what is going on in the kitchen, because that's where she was consigned, okay? But it not mean say not going to make a decision, because after all, Now in the sleep be a man. Not me saying a man at the talk. Sometimes a man will get regard for her, but some maybe they way powerful, way skillful, way can use that strength in a bed for use for manipulate things, for let them go their way, whether not for them picking them or not for other things then. And this is deep. And these are things I believe that we understand. But gradually, ladies and gentlemen, as men began to fail in terms of leadership, women then begin to take the higher ground. Because we come for understand, say, at some point during we time, that women have a strategic role. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. Women has got a strategic role in promoting good governance. Once we begin to talk about equality, discrimination, equal opportunities, and things like that, we begin to understand immediately that women are our equals. What we can do, and woman can do. So we begin to recognize these things, that they've got a strategic role in promoting good governance, about ruling, about making decisions, about policy, things that are driven by policy, that women can equally do the same thing. So eventually there were calls for need for let we try for empower women up to the side of the globe that we are in the Western Hemisphere. And let's be specific a little bit, the United Kingdom, we all, or most of we will understand the history of the suffragette movement. The suffragette movement, in short, is about people, women in particular, we suffer or protest or take the foreground for make women rights become recognized. Because where we are, women were not allowed to vote. So it's not like this issue that I'm talking about was consigned only to the continent of Africa, which some people call the dark continent then, but it was also here. So if we will have to call Africa the dark continent, for no other reason, but for what we are talking about women, being consigned, to the backyards, to domestication, and the rest of it, then of course we will be calling the Western world as well, in that aspect, in this context, okay, a dark continent. Because until the suffragettes then begin for protest here in Britain, in which they suffer, they were beaten, they were battered by police, imagine that, which will not happen now, by the way. Okay, welcome to my beautiful sister-in-law, Lucy Derrick. Welcome to the program. They will be battered, by the way, and they will be jailed, they will be charged, they will be deprived of many things, which is necessary for you for pursue a good life, simply because women generally were not recognized, okay? But gradually, they won the battle. But let we veer off again, go back home, because this is not about here, it's about back in the continent of Africa, and specifically in Sierra Leone and probably neighboring countries, because we all went through that, in which women were not recognized, as for what they can do, as for what they really represented. So as people then begin to understand that women had a strategic role in promoting good governance, and as men then begin to fail, there was a need and there was a stronger call that women had to be empowered. Empowering women is a major governance issue which goes in tandem with the diktats of participatory democracy. So then they are twin together. You cannot take one and left one, okay? There is a kind of relationship between the two. You can take one and left one. In other words, there is a nexus. There's a direct nexus between empowering women and governance. So participatory democracy will imply all you people are able to take care. So gradually, women then started winning the vote. They started, being recognized and the rest of it. So all said and done, in Sierra Leone, for example, there were many names that were mentioned, many names over a period of time. Not equal to the number of participants then when you look at the nation in population as a whole, but gradually progress was being made up to the point by the early 2000s that would be under the leadership of the late President Ahmad Tijan Kaba. Women, became dominantly representative. You begin for your names there, okay? We really begin for your names. Some of the names they have the Yeri today, like the Bendus, the Sarah Bendus, the Haja Kalas, the Madam Jatu, Jallo, Umu Jallo, powerful people like the Jalo Uma we can occupy the Supreme Court bench, not a small position, Andy. So this goes back a long way in which then people are begin for come of age and they begin for recognize them and the rest of it. Okay, we need for empower these people. So by the early 2000s, well, I mean just before the 2000s, probably in the middle 90s, we began almost like 6% of women, them, according to statistics, will be not come of age, will be dominant, civil society, decision making, and governance as a whole. So about 6% of them. And then the war came back, sometime, time ago, that progression that we were making in terms of recognizing women, because remember, say women and don't get any challenges, they are all along. But again, a cultural thing. So for let something happen, there has to be a cultural shift. And that cultural shift, in the opinion, largely don't happen. Okay? There are questions and difficulties and upheavals and the rest of it, but largely it has moved. There are some general acceptance that women, as we can see, women are in governance, women are on top of men. In difficult situations, in challenging situations, it is women that are in the driver's seat. There is no denial about this. So by the time the war come, that gains they will be done begin for make. We lost them gains them day because we sister them, we mama them, they became like slaves, under the RAF, which is a sad story. That's under the period of war. That's why those that participated in the war, and this is another reason why we really not get with Truth and Reconciliation Committee as we suppose forget them, so that we could reconcile this past in our life and forgive, never to forget. Okay, so just yesterday, I believe, marked the anniversary of that rebel war, that civil war, which come and desecrate we holy places, turn about we institutions which were already weak, the rule of chaos, now in take over, where we women then became largely the victim then. They were raped. This is no hidden story. They were taken in as slaves, and the rest of it is just hard to talk about. Okay? So that period where we really get for reconcile with, where we get for apologize to them, woman them, where we get for ask for their forgiveness, and maybe one better way they for do and for begin for empower them, tranga one, so that they will be dominant in every society. You see, most times when you talk about the empowerment of women, you can almost go, or you go in a country like Rwanda. And why? Because as we speak now, Rwanda, now one of the countries that we're very powerful, where the amount of women and within a power then overshadow almost any other side. Not even here where I'm speaking from, women then. But then people like you say now because most men then die. But why it is true, but there's also another agenda behind it. That women has to be promoted anyway, because they are equally as good as we the men are. I think I've said enough of that, and now move on, because like I've been saying, today we get 5 categories. 5 women that we recognize. There's a group of 10. We broke down, to the first 5 today, and then we go have another 5. In the meantime, we can keep the chat room, going, because if you get women them way you believe in, where say they do well and why they do well, let's get making the comments. So we're going to read the comments them and they follow now the chat room. Please don't hesitate, okay? But ladies and gentlemen, again, here we go. Okay, I mean, they say as man then begin for fail pan leadership, the woman then begin for take up the challenge. Remember the UN Conference on Women, along with the other regional and national conferences that we then hold, where international treaties then help for promote and provide a capacity for let women and gradually begin for take the leadership mantle. So this has been a design effort that we need for move away. In other words, we need for have a cultural change. We can't just let people, who could act equal to us, and on some occasions, if not all, better than us, make better decisions than us. Come on, them, they are known for making better decisions, They are not reckless. They are very precise. They are very concise. They are very calculated. When they act, they act. So imagine if you get people of that kind nature there in leadership, then of course decisions made or to be made will be good decisions. So anyway, I veer off again to Sierra Leone, the Ministry of Gender and Social Affairs, or Gender Affairs, is the focal point where I want to begin with today on this production, which the policies and programs which are related to women. And this is not the particular reason why I cite this particular ministry, because the policies and programs of this particular ministry are sort of kind of related to this particular ministry, which is the Ministry for Women and Gender Affairs. So now I make a highlighter. So the priorities that are included in this particular ministry are the implementation of the National Gender and Strategic Plan, which is responsible for promoting gender equality, okay, and also the advancement of women, which effectively I'm talking about here, which is the reason why I've cited this particular ministry, okay. So when we talk about the areas of governance, you know that this ministry now is responsible for promoting the advancement of women. When you talk about education, when you talk about employment, when you talk about health and all the kind of capacity there, or capacity building as a whole, whether you talk about budgeting for gender, whether you talk about data collection related to gender, whether you talk about analysis and the dissemination or for scatter information, then of course you talk about this particular ministry. So this ministry, not small. It also responsible for implementing, gender mainstreaming. Remember the context in which we talk and the necessity of this particular thing why they try for highlight. So through which all of the bureaucracies then, of government as a whole can systematically come together or put together, or one word could be for integrate, and find a way on how for coordinate the affairs there of gender concerns into the activities and the inclusion and the advancement of women then. So who's better with the way for start? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if I can just say this again, in 2007, this particular ministry what I just talked about, there are many historical aspects of it, but it don't develop. I could go back in 2000, I can go back in 2002, and the rest of it. But fast tracking in 2007, this particular ministry embarked on a particular project of implementation in 3 gender acts. I hope you see the correlation. I hope you see the significance between the then and the now, and the reason why I talk about it then and why they try for twinner with the now. 1, remember the Domestic Violence Act that's even been highlighted by the current leadership of retired Brigadier His Excellency Julius Maada Bio. That's the Domestic Violence Act. Remember, it also contained something what they call the devolution of estate acts, okay, and also the registration of customary marriage and divorce act. All that in there talk largely, strongly about women them. So they are also designed for things that we can discriminate against we mama them, against we sister them. Hence why this ministry is strong and powerful. So when I talk about this, that brings me in a descending order on no other person where at one time had this institution of very strong character, which now in the first person I want to mention, like I say, in a descending order, beginning from 5, Dr. Silva Olayinka Blyden. And also that name did not change to, isn't it? Hassanato Kamara, Christiana Thorpe, former minister. Thank you very much, my sister. And this is exactly what I'm trying to say. If we get names of people, women, powerful in position, where we want to talk about, where we want to mention, because we get 5 today, we don't do one, we own, probably there will be another recommendation of the other 5, but we'll get particular 5 today we want to talk about. Please feel free for talk about them. And my sister just mentioned Christiana Thorpe. Of course, I believe, say, in the paper here today, Dr. Christiana Thorpe is also a part and parcel of this particular production today. So Sister Hassanito Kamara, thank you very much for mentioning that name. and we will talk about them soon. But I'm going to say, like in descending order from number 5, I want to talk about Dr. Sylvia Olayinka Blyden. This woman born 1971, and by the way, this is a household name, you know. Dr. Blyden is a household name. Even if not all by himself, you know, say some people them or some family them, then come up from a political background or from some background, we get something for do with a country, either the history of the country, the name where they carry, either by, you know, yeah, by marriage, by connection, family connection, by blood, DNA, something they name them, they've already been written down in history. Such is this name Blyden, because I remember when I went to school, like primary school, there were people that we talked about in history classes, which were related to this name. One of them, Dr. Edward Wilmot Blyden, you know, you're the third. So it sounds like this woman, a very powerful woman from that time they were born on October 1971, born Afito. So when you talk about the career of this woman, you know, I mean, she's had a very colorful career. And the people that they highlighted, they're not just any foolish people, and are people that we are eminent, we don't do something, we represent something, and people that, you know, you cannot deny that because it's written. One, she's a journalist, and we already know that he established her own thing. She's a political commentator, and she's a newspaper publisher. Or let's say was, because I'm not sure say they do these things anymore, you know, but from a humble beginning, Dr. Sylvia Olayinka Blyden is known to be a journalist. He established her own paper. She was once upon a time a political commentator. I know she's doing a little bit of that right now, because then things there are in terms of commentating, when you dey ever na the domain of the political cycle or the public square, you go always get for say something or two, okay? So once upon a time, Dr. Sylvia Blyden, he head this particular Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender, and Children Affairs. He also served as executive assistant to the former president of the Republic, Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma, for 2 years, I believe from 2013 to 2015, okay? This woman, he found Boku things, them organizations, them, for example. Like, for example, he is the founder and CEO of, I talked earlier about something relating to she being a journalist, okay? So when you talk about profession, one of the things that we go mention about this woman is one of in profession, many, one of in profession them is about being a journalist. And he is the founder and the CEO, which I believe is no secret, but sometimes not all of us can know these things. So just for we own knowledge, he is the founder and the CEO of a popular newspaper in Freetown, which is called the Awareness Times. Okay, this is not Dr. Blyden. That's what she is. She was known because then, as opposed to now, there's a little bit of a difference. Some other women don't come of age, but at this time that we talk about them, she was known to be the only female newspaper publisher in Sierra Leone. And one of the most recognizable names, remember I talked about them earlier on, because the name attached to this famous historical figure. Dr. Blyden was born right in the capital city of Sierra Leone, which is Freetown, and I didn't raise them back, okay? And obviously, in family, or she's connected to Edward Wilmot Blyden. Needless for that, go into that, but when we talk about the father of Pan-Africanism, then going back to decades back, you can ascribe down to a man we connected to her. So you can see the tendency when they say DNA or something can run as somebody in blood. So you see how outspoken, how present she's always. And because when you understand Dr. Edward Wilmot Blyden in terms of the African struggle or Black struggle, which most people don't understand. And I say this, you know, because then same people that come out say, some people, I mean, let the people that can colonize me again. Seriously? Really? That just shows ignorance of some kind. But luckily, some people don't get that. So that's how connected this woman is. So she's connected to this Pan-Africanist family of the late Dr. Edward Wilmot Blyden. She's also connected to another political dynasty, which is, like when I was small, Dr. Solomon A.J. Pratt. She's connected to, to this man. So you can see USA all the political connection there, then come out. Dr. Blinden attend the Annie Walsh School, obviously the Annie Walsh School, which made her proud, which made all the people that attend the Annie Walsh School proud. And when you attend the Annie Walsh School, say something that you can go to some school, but not just because probably you're lucky for good day, but after some time, just because you were lucky. But in this case, no, she wasn't lucky. Everything that she did then was on merit. You could see the rise and rise and rise of this woman. So there we go. By the time where it graduate or where it sit in selective entrance for go into secondary school, then she had the best primary school results. And that was in 1982. She also gets the best GCE results that are on O levels, and that are back in 1987. So 5 years later, 1982, it taken in selective entrance. She had the best result. I took selective entrance as well, and my results were really, really, really great. Those who know. Okay, but that's many years back, so maybe the audience who I speak to may not get it. But today we talk about Dr. Sylvia Blinden. So we try for say some of the actions there where this woman take, not by accident. Okay, these were cultivated in her because of by virtue of USA Ikomot. Now that you see, okay, connected to the great Dr. Edward Wilmot Blinden, connected to a political family, a political dynasty, Solomon A.J. Pratt. So now they can't in Iran. And not only that, where he goes school, back in 1982, when he take his selective for enter Annie Walsh School of Girls, one of the most powerful school of girls then, okay, he entered with the best results so far. And not stop there, 1987, she had the same thing. She was also a graduate with the best results inside in bachelor's when I in first degree, because she got a Bachelor of Science results from a medical school in 1993. And again, this same thing happened by 1996, where he graduated with an MD in medicine. Remember, at some point, we'll be the make argument about medicine study and the rest of it, whether I get on, whether I don't, why this, how they ask for pull this, pull that. But the records always speak. And especially so now, first time you can get away with lying, but this time everything is connected. Everything is connected. I'm not going to leave from here and go to the other side of the world and tell the people I've got a PhD, whereas I haven't got it. Where is the school? Where is the connection? Where is the website? What was your school number? What was your school ID? What was your name? What was your data? Details as a whole, so that they go twin them and speak to the other side, or just enter the school authorities' their website and see whether they can access you. Unfortunately, you can't do that now. So these are the things that Dr. Wilmot Blinden and Miss Sylvia Blinden get under his sleeve. Okay, during this period where I in MBA, she was the first woman where they ever elect to the University Students Leadership in 1994. The University Student Leadership in 1994, Dr. Sylvia Blinden is the first woman. So you see, when you talk about leadership capability or capacity, it don't say where this woman did. She's not new at all. She's not new. Okay? She's not new. So whatever become of her, now something where he practice along the wayside. But again, we need for move on because we get 4 other people and what we need for talk about. But just before I move away from Dr. Sylvia Blinden, I don't say if any newspaper in selective entrance results was one of the best. Equally so, in GCSE results, O levels back 5 years later, that was in 1987, was equally the best. Okay, she became the university student leader in 1994. So she's harnessed, practiced all this fine discipline them in terms of leadership. Okay, even when they go to China back in 1995, now in the appoint for speaking behalf of the female youth them, so that the empowerment period and that they may not begin. So this woman served as we minister for youth and gender affairs and the Ministry of Gender Equality, or if you want to call on the full name, Ministry of Gender and Social Welfare and Social and Gender Affairs. So he served as minister in Bokwoko other capacity. So this now woman were empowered. This now woman where most people go and emulate. But as usual, you know, we expect person for in that position, they not getting if in but. So Dr. Blinden getting if in but he's serving a top capacity in day, and people then go and emulate and get Boku people then go and emulate and carry on the example. Ladies and gentlemen, number 2 or number 4, like I say now in descending order and I'm list today, is another strong, powerful woman, Dr. Christiana Ayoka Mary Thorpe. Okay? Dr. Christiana Ayoka Mary Thorpe was born on the 16th of August, 1949, right now, that same country day. Before I go into small history of just come back again to her adult life, which is served in recent times, where she is known to be a 2-term electoral commissioner and the chairperson of the National Electoral Commission. 2-term chief electoral and the chairperson of the National Electoral Commission. Very, very powerful position. Who was the occupant, or who am I talking about? I'm talking about female. A strong female in the person of Dr. Christiana Ayoka Mary Thorpe. Okay? So, Dr. Thorpe, okay, now the first woman who had that position, they were just mentioned. So, waiting at this position, the chief electoral officer or commissioner at the entire history, the 50-some-year history of this country. She also, at some point during her stellar career, served as the Deputy Minister of Education. Then back in the 90s, if you can remember, under the military regime, where the current head of state, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, was a part of. He later became the number 2 man in that government after Sarge was ostracized. Retired Brigadier became the number 2 man there. So during that period, Dr. Christiana Thorpe served as a Deputy Minister of Education. That will put us within a timeline like 1992, because now when the MPRC took over, okay? And not the last time she was serving that capacity there, because back in 2016, sometime around March, that was under the All People's Congress. It pleased the president then, Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma, for appoint Dr. Christiana Thorpe for act in that capacity there, the same capacity we act as under the military government, that same capacity there they can act under a civilian government many years after. If we want to be specific, 1992, 2000, so that will put us 16 years later, she equally became the Deputy Minister of Education, Science and Technology, because there was a little bit of a shift in terms of the design of that particular ministry. It came for head Science and Technology. At first, it was Deputy Minister of Education, but being specific now, Science and Technology. Okay? So, very, very interesting times. So, this woman, now one way young people can go admire, very much so, because unlike Dr. Sylvia Blind, and not just climb up the ladder just like that and go up the ladder, she saw poverty. Not only she felt poverty. Why do I say this? Because when she was born, and Usa grew up, now one of the poorest you can ever imagine, okay, community in our country. And that goes back in the 1950s. And remember, this was when we were under colonial rule. That's back in the 1950s. He and his small sister, because of poverty, they get for shape them in the sense not to forsake them, separate them, or then put them all two together, because I say shape, then come on a family of 8. So they can go, he and his small sister for go live with another relatives then. Now Kube, what you will know today as Kube. Of course, it was then known as Kube. It's still known today as Kube. And imagine what Kube is. That's the same thing it was. There are many changes to it now. In fact, it don't get worse. But again, that name then I mean in terms of poverty, in terms of the downtrodden, in terms of those below the the ladder, the economic ladder, that was Krube, that's where you will find them. In other words, it was a slum. So that's where this woman went to live with her younger sister, and that's where she grew up. But this did not deter her from excelling, from achieving, which makes her exemplary. An exemplary person, here for emulate young girl then. Because when you imagine what happened to her, and I get for go live in a Krube and they grow up, we'll say, wow, can you imagine? Yet she's a household name today and she succeeded. Okay? So while he been in that poor neighborhood, remember say come on, like I said, they separate them, come on a family of about 8 people. Okay? And he now be the eldest of them 8 people. So she was boarded. It began a major part for play, can you imagine that? Okay? She was this woman. She used to be like washing clothes for make no more survive. So imagine that hard training there from the beginning. And go was all in sister and family and clothes, and even for the neighborhood then. And they do some other small thing them as well. That's how innovative she was. She was a herbalist. We go pick leaf behind and put pants of food or other things there and cure people then. Such was the herbalists. And herbalists at the time were very powerful because not everybody may get access to a dispenser. So and local herbalists were recognized anyway. So that's what she was doing. Okay. They also go to school, in that same neighborhood they Usa even day. And the distinct thing about this woman is whenever, because not to everybody being in school, imagine this. So it's not like colonial times where people like you want to talk about was this period where they so glorious now in history. Some people are not even one for let you mention that term. They're not even because they were so dehumanized. Those people that maybe understand themselves. It's like you couldn't stand. You were not human. You were 3/5 of a human. Okay? You just have to get along. And remember, say this not be your home. Thing where people and they call for, let it can't colonize me again because you could drink milk, where you can still drink now, but difficult. But you not be understand why. So that kind of thing they now go through. But she was privileged, even though she lived in that slum area, even they go school. So when they come out school, they can come, they can adjust, okay, take care of his small one, then provide food, and go to the neighborhood. Wow! He go to the neighborhood, waiting he go learn na school today, he go come and can teach the others. Wow! Imagine at that time day, back in the 1950s, for a young girl who was struggling, who lived in a dilapidated place, who lived in a slum. But yet he be not say, he be selfless, because he got not know, because he didn't do it selflessly, not even understanding their attributes in the, but it come for payoff, because this is what we know are today for. Where you come out school waiting and go teach, and they can teach the other people in the neighborhood. And by virtue of their action and they, other people they survive. Okay? Dr. Tope, Mrs. Tope, also went to the convent school Namakini. Remember then telling the Italika when it comes to the international world, the Western world. Some people in common in the various countries like Sierra Leone, the Ivory Coast, Conakry, Guinea, Republic of Liberia, and the rest of it, Ghana, they're well qualified under colonialism because they were responsible for the school system. So institutions down in these colonial places, they were twinned to institutions then to the colonial authority in the far away land. So when you came by, if you were lucky, you don't have to go through what you have to go through today because your grades will represent what you had down there will be representative of you here. So you just came and followed through the system. It is not the same now. Now you have a PhD down there if you like. If you come here, it's not what you learn over there you're going to be. In fact, there's no way. And by the time you come here, age is not even on your side. So the proportion is it's not balanced at all to those who will succeed in terms of having gone to school there for ages. I'm not talking about the young ones that they bring here. Some of them, do well and excel. Some of them kind of messed up. I'm talking about the real side of things. Like when our parents left from there, they were already educated. And when they came, they just followed through. They had to have the same number of accreditation that they needed in universities and the rest of it. But now, no, you have to start all over. So Mrs. Tope was in a position because of the challenges then. She became a nun. That's how she went to the St. Joseph Secondary School in Makeni. because she was a nun, and she was a nun for like 2 decades, if not plus. But because of some difficulty, she had to renounce that. She could not continue to be a nun because of the restrictions, okay? What she believed in was in conflict with the tenets of being a nun. So she had to renounce that. So she stopped being a nun. And gradually she started rising and rising, like I was saying. She was a member of the cabinet of 1992 under Captain Valentine Strasser. And she served well as a deputy minister of education. In 2000, in the mid 2000s, she was asked by the late President Ahmed Tijan Kaba, may his soul rest in perfect peace, to head the National Elections Commission. Okay, at which point she served as the first female electoral commissioner for 2 consecutive terms, comprising of 5 years each. Okay, she's had many recognition, many awards has been offered to her, and she's a foundation member of many other organizations. Okay, remember that Mrs. Tope, I like to call her Mrs. Tope. She went to the Frabe College back in 1988. Of course, she went to the Frabe College and she did a degree in economics, which was her first degree. Pardon me. Okay. Yeah. And that's Dr. Christiana Ayoka Mary Thorpe. So a fine woman that went through the struggles, and that's what she is today. That's what she was then. So she didn't just get to where she found herself. It was through hard work. That's why we've profiled her here today. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, if there are other women that you want to talk about, please feel free to talk about them. Pateba, welcome to the program. Bangali Kaki and Abbas Fofana. Abbas, how you do, Pa? I hope so you okay. Adi Mami do. Please extend my greetings to her. I've been heard from her a long time. I hope the family, the kids are doing well, including herself. Greetings. So let's move on to another strong and powerful woman. Who is she? This person is the current mayor of Freetown, Sierra Leone, another very strong character. And I talk about none other but Yvonne Aki Sawyer. I talk about Dr. Christiana Tope earlier on. I mean, the things that way she go through. But this is another woman, another strong woman, where instead walk in way all the way up to Usai Ifeni Self today. And I think I've been make mistake earlier on, because when I talk about an economics degree back in 1988, I talk about Yvonne Aki Sawyer. Okay, yes, it's Yvonne Aki Sawyer, not Dr. Christiana Tope. So Yvonne Aki Sawyer gets in first degree in 1988 up at Frabe College. That's a bachelor's in economics. Okay, and she's a very strong woman. Personally, I do admire her. She's a very strong character. Okay, very strong character. In first degree in the economics of Frabe College, it didn't stop there. She also attended the London School of Economics, the renowned London School of Economics, LSE, back in 1993. Also gets another degree in economics and political science. Okay. During the Ebola crisis in our country, she was very active. I can't go into detail now because of time, but we know that she was very active. In 2018, Yvonne Aki Sawyer, he win the elections, even though he come under a different party, because right now, as we speak, the party where Yvonne Sawyer belonged to, the All People's Congress Party. But to me, she doesn't seem like a party line it follow other than country first, which is a good attribute. But she's a very strong character. Okay, we need to know some of the things then we now equality then. She is a finance professional. Okay, and it get over a quarter of a century experience on strategic planning and risk management and project management, both na the public and the private sector. Of course, if you end up in a place like being a mayor and it do well by every standard, now because this woman get a demonstrable record rather, of being a good team player. We don't see her because there were times, going back months when she had difficulties in terms of governance, in terms of leadership, but somehow she's managed to overcome. Because why? There's one particular thing where they drive and where they propel her, that now the need for succeed, the need for provide services for the people in the country. Yvonne Apostle attend the St. Joseph Secondary School for girls, obviously. Before you end up in a Fabi College, you start again in first degree, you what we talk about. They don't elect to Boku other organization then. Boku, where I can't name it again because of time and the rest of it. In international career, obviously, it span over a period of time and represent Boku term then, where he spend time here, spend time there. If we all understand or we get time for look up, an organization where they call Arthur Hansen and Co., then we will begin to understand Dr. Yvonne Sawyer, because this goes back 1990, and this is decades before she became what she is today. So a role at that time may involve for deliver risk management, regulatory and corporate governance, and consulting with them blue chip company, then which they come into action now as we speak. All the attributes there, they come into action, which is why she appears to be succeeding in everything that she's doing. She appears to have the Midas touch. Everything she touches turns to gold in a positive way for the country. Ladies and gentlemen, the third person today, without much ado, for me, is the current mayor of Freetown, Yvonne Sawyer. Let me go to the fourth person, Dr. Sarah Bendu. Okay? Despite all the things that we don't come for afflict her right now, she was once upon a time a very, very powerful woman in a very, very powerful position. They make powerful money. But the reason why we highlight them on this program, because during that period, they begin to recognize women then. This woman played a very key role when she was appointed. You get things then when you get under in belt. Remember, we recognize people and we do things or we put things in place. We spell out a difference or make a difference in the lives of our people and make a difference in the lives of the people that we occupy the country and the country as a whole. You see, the woman is served twice or in two different administrations. He served under Anes by Koroma, okay, and in the executive director of the Sierra Leone Road Transport Authority, than at the SLRTA. So remember, while he been at this institution, he do very, very powerful things. Now, he responsible of they look at in legacy, despite the difficult position right now. Now, he are the person will be responsible for transform that authority day to something we represent the true word where the authority represent, which is about safety. Okay, it is really about safety, and Dr. Bendu Naim really bring that up to speed. Remember, say he also served under the current leadership, but at some point she was found wanting because her name came up at the current COI, the Commission of Inquiries, where we get for answer questions, and then the ACCA back, the one where they look at historic cases of corruption, then found Dr. Sarah Bendu guilty of some corruption, and right now as we speak, it is trying for settle over 500 million leones. That's over $500 million leones. Very, very serious money. Okay. Like I say, some of the things that we will remember of, despite the name being dragged into the mud now, but because of them good things there in terms of road safety, and ladies and gentlemen, let us not forget. Not a personal thing we owe, but we just to look at the record, we look at the statistics. This woman during a period where people and they die 50 fatal, ladies and gentlemen, let us just remember no more. All time on your phone, you will see picture come, 30 people and die under 15 people and then heartbreaking story and then stressful story, then where you will see that man or people and they in grimace, that they in excruciating pain, lay down at the middle of roads because an accident has just occurred. Uda in head don't march, uda in hand don't cut, uda in limb don't come out, uda in belly don't open. Now that kind of picture then they will be the same.
Now, let's be realistic. When last did we see these pictures? It's been quite a long time. It's more like a rhetorical question. It's been a long time. I don't get them on my phones anymore, although I've been warn people and say viewers' discretion is needed. But I'm not thinking that I make people and stop, or I don't hardly see them any longer. So this woman be responsible, to be honest, as a matter of legacy, for bringing the road safety campaign and also the digitization system of the entity where it in the head, when at the Sierra Leone Road Transport Authority. So it's strive for do all the things in the way if you go now, then go digitization, put you detail inside some computer system, some modern system. It also strive because the institution be so politicized, it try hard for depoliticize them. Okay. So these are the kind of things then where we go remember Dr. Serafinda Bendu of. Okay. She was also the chairman and the board of the board of directors of that particular program day. So it not stop there because of the good work that we do. When this government come to power, they talk about the government of retired Brigadier His Excellency Julius Madabio. It's the reason for let Ibrahim come up back up to speed. Because honestly, this government, they do well in terms of employing women. Whether the women and they live up to the task is another thing altogether. And I'm not just to commend them for doing that, because it's been an onward going program in the sense that if the last person we employed 10, the other person continue along that path, they then employ 15. So they are doing well. They're doing extremely well in that regard. So with fourth person for this particular thing, this program tonight is Dr. Bendu, Serafinda Bendu. Now, I want to move on to some other area altogether, but it's also a very strong position, okay? And I want to talk about an entrepreneur, okay? I want to talk about the first female chief of Sierra Leone Football Association, a name which became very, very powerful in the annals of football, both domestically and internationally. I'm talking about none other than Aisha Tijan Cole Johansson. This woman, it bring football up to speed, and it not come as a surprise because na football home na de ikomot. Football home na de ikomot. In Papa is reputed or known to be a co-founder of the Eastern Lions Football Club. So now in home side they grow up, they talk about football, they eat football, they sleep football, if they go play football with him. In brothers them, a whole lot of them play football. So when he grew up, he grew with that football thing inside him in DNA. She went on to establish a club, called FC Johansson, where he even bring kind of European and then take part in some major tournament where they win. This not a small feat by itself for like a woman, despite the discrimination, despite the stereotyping, go able for rise up to that position, especially a position when a male-dominated position. So that position did not become easily because then in the end, there was this friction. We go on and we get for straight over to the team itself, the national team, and the Premier League as well, where they did not organize at that time. One of the country best or the best ever, okay, as by establishment of the record, than Mohamed Kalon, a young man who get some good reputation and under in belt. You know, the youngest man we ever play for Leon Stars. I hope I get this correct, because during my own time, one of the youngest people that we know then was Little John. I went to school with Little John. He's in the United States now. Little John and myself went to Albert Academy. That's back in the 70s, in the late 1970s. Went to school with Little John. And that's the time where Academy na be Academy. That's the time where, in terms of football Academy, we get some wonderful names. Okay? But we talk about Johansson today. So he get this problem with Mohamed Kalon, or Mohamed Kalon he get this problem with him, because remember, say this position where you occupy, by virtue of the place being a dominantly, or football as a whole being a predominantly male sports, then they expect a male for header. So when the leadership for Slafa come up, this woman I think that the last 2 or 3 weeks, now I throw in hats in the ring. By then you will get Calon and somebody else. And people let me feel say it's a foregone deal. Because we go challenge Calon get money, Calon in name, they now every host, they abroad. So people expect Calon for win. Unfortunately, Calon was dismissed and found ineligible for stand because of address issues. Them funny technical things there. But this was right because this was the law, so then dismiss them. So this woman be able for ward of 2 candidates then who were found ineligible, and she became the head of SLAFA. During the well, now the 10 women get back there, a coach from Northern Ireland, we manage they manage for Sierra Leone go play some level of the game. We almost qualify them for the African Nations Cup. And that time the team been good and the spirit been good, but waiting come for hunt them have been the period of Ebola, where it not been go down well. Teams they not go agree for campaign at the country because of Ebola. Teams they not go agree for play them away from home because 1 point they go play football outside, and they not be able for play the football because the country where them for play, I believe, saying as Seychelles, they refuse for play there. Even though then we get a neutral ground, I believe, saying the Democratic Republic of Congo offer for let them play the game. They say no, they won't play it. The one they want them play, they can shake their hands. But even the head of the SLAFA, Aisha Tijankol Johansen, they've been there against that because when you look at the Ebola scourge, say the way how this they transfer. Remember, I said it's not a joke. I mean, serious business. How this team they transfer? Not two then there. So in back me there against that, he said you alone not play the game there. However, the point where they tried for make that during this woman in tenure, the team make notable gains in Calon them in their loggerheads because of what happened. The country not be more accepting, they may prefer something else, but the authority they may prefer, and they get FIFA in backing. Unfortunately, ESF under investigation now because of corruption, and we country as a whole, as I understand, they under suspension because FIFA not they tolerate interference by governments. So they don't want government for stay off, but government and they inside, and they na caught now with this woman when I be the head of SLAFA, and FIFA they na inside. So because of all the kuskas where they go on here, FIFA don't sideline Sierra Leone, and we are suspended effectively from international football because of this attitude of government supposedly want for intervene in the running of the football affairs in the country. She's been accused of corruption, I think some 24, 26 million. There's something else to the case. But during the time, she tried, she instituted many disciplines. And as a woman, commoting from the fact, say, it get picking them and understand human beings and the rest of it. They also look at the team them and look at people and where they play and say them people there, they will need incentive, we need to encourage them. And you understand the issue of governance. They understand, the issue of nation building, knowing fully well if we don't come up at war, even though this is not sport, but sport, they play a greater role, and how you go integrate program them for make sure, say, people do not get distracted and turn back into war. We will make the country slide back into, chaos. So in back get a role for play, and she's played it well. So on this note, we want for comment Aisha Tijankol Johansen as one of the strong women there. We will say 5, but we get one more where we go take, we make 6. And this now, the current Attorney General of the country, Priscilla Schwartz. She's the current Attorney General of the country. She's a very, very strong character. I didn't know her previously, but just before the Kana studio and a day or 2 ago, I read up on her. In a graduate from Foday College, he got a Bachelor of Laws degree from Foday College, and not stop there. He also attend University in the United Kingdom, which put him an extra pedestal. So now the King's College University of London, now he can do a Masters of Law, and in Juris Doctor, he also do at the Queen's Mary University in London. Obviously, she's now involved in politics because she was appointed by the current head of state, His Excellency Julius Malabio, for serve as Attorney General of the country. A very, very powerful position. If I'm not mistaken, this position put them effectively number 3 or number 4 in the country. So this is a powerful position. This woman also lectured at the University of Leicester, and in the senior lecturer at alma mater, when at the Queen Mary in university, right here in England, University of London. And not only teach it, but it also help for design and develop curriculum, courses for LLM and MA by research or programs which some other people that they do today, including people that we come on our country, okay? And this now thing what we get for really commend them, for, okay? We also need to acknowledge that the Woman lecture at the Oriental School of African Studies done at the University of London, which put them back at the Queen's Mary University for 2 years, done between 2011 and 2013. And before the current president appointed him as Minister of Justice, he had been senior lecturer and director now the Energy Institute or the Energy and Natural Resources Law Program at the College of Professional Services at the Royal Docks of School of Business and Law in the United Kingdom, USA is served between 2012 and 2018. Very colorful career. So we just want to bring that to highlight, and you get two picking them, and currently now in the Attorney General and a very strong person. I want to end on this note here for now for the woman there. But before I go, I just want to say next week we will get Haja Kala Kamara, okay? When I've been the leader and the Commissioner General, we will talk about Aissatou Cissé, the woman we put basically na the international map, even where we get we conflict them, where all they be knowing for Kotot and Kotan. Aissatou Cissé, in other words, Aisha Cissé of CNN fame, very, very prominent woman. We'll like for talk about her. We'll like for talk about him mama as well, Zainab Cissé, very, very strong woman. We'll also like for talk about another woman, this na Mrs. Pastor Maina Olabisi Horace, another very, very powerful and upcoming woman na the Sierra Leonean society, where in the current head for the extractive industry or national coordinator, if I should be exact, for the extractive industry. Very, very powerful woman and upcoming way instead of get hurt and don't make indelible marks then at the society in terms of the job way they do, in commitment to promoting humanity, involving Boku charity. Then they don't open school in the interior of the country, and at some point we will get for ask people and for support them, here for the school way organized, because the school don't go past his space. And now try no more instead they try and get support from government, as I understand, and from himself no more. So the school overwhelmingly students they don't come full up and people and they come out from miles away from other villages. There, this now school way organized now the southeastern side of the country now near a place where they call Walai. Okay, so she will need support, but she's doing extremely well. So there's a lot of things here that we need for talk about camp. But the last thing I want left now before I jump to the interview by Ambassador Alhaji Osman Foday Yansaneh is about them woman there who just don't talk about. I want to say this. There's a prominent saying that the heights which great men reach and kept were not attained by sudden flights. Some of you are going to know that this they come up by now. And the reason why I did go to this quotation or this saying. But they, while their companions slept, were toiling through the night. Remember the story about Dr. Thorpe, okay, Christina Thorpe? While their companions slept at night, they toiled. Despite the difficulties, they exemplified leadership quality then because of who side they come up by virtue of the discipline. So I go again by saying the heights which great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flights, but while their companions slept, they were toiling through the night. We know say that the women there we talk about, these are hard-working women, despite one or two get stain about them, but they did hard work. They get things them with a legacy they go remember them for. Some of them will be conflicting because they got involved in corrupt practices. Some of them maintain their names them up to this today. So we know say these are good moral virtues and religious steadfastness where other people and go like for hold and the rest of it. So we know say this will continue for a long, long time for come, and young girl and go like for emulate them particular position they are. And like I say, in a matter of minutes, okay, we go moved on again to Osman Foday Yansaneh in interview and waiting if you want to tell we the diasporans there. Let me listen to small music while I prepare this. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to this first part. We come to the second part with the interview by Ambassador Osman Foday Yansaneh. And at some point, ladies and gentlemen, if the interview not clear, you want to make it known by typing at the forum there. I will look forward to comments. How are we doing? How am I performing? Have I said the right things? Have I said the right things? What could I have said? What didn't I say? What would you have expected me to say? I'd expect engagement in the chat room, not just watching. I don't want to have a monologue. Of course, I'm doing the talking now, but I expect people to engage me. Okay. So again, like I say, in a matter of minutes, we will play the interview by Dr. Alhaji Foday Usman Yansaneh. And if you need the area, find you, I want to make that no. But again, this is it. And will not forget, tomorrow at 8:30, I will be at DJ Little's show, that are the Diaspora Voices. I've been invited and I'm proud to attend the show because me one person will believe strongly in community. Let's listen to some music, please.
Somebody call me by my name, son. Somebody call me by my name. Somebody hug me on my neck, son. That's the one is my girlfriend. I wanna see the girl tonight, son. I wanna hold the girl around, son. I wanna squeeze the girl tonight, son. That girl is my girlfriend. Hey, yeah. Somebody call me by my name, son. Somebody call me by my name. Somebody hug me on my neck, son. That someone is my girlfriend. I wanna see the girl tonight, son. I wanna hold the girl around, son. I wanna see the girl tonight, son. That girl is my girlfriend. Somebody call me by my name, son. Somebody call me by my name. Somebody hug me on my neck, son. That's the one is my girlfriend. I wanna see the girl tonight, son. I wanna hold the girl around, son. I wanna squeeze the girl tonight, son. That girl is my girlfriend.
say, I get Ambassador Osman Foday Yansaneh in tape naya, and when he make this audio, he will speak directly to the diaspora. And this not something we don't know before yet, because this was direct. These were critical questions that are asked, and it's a matter of respect. There was a mutuality of there was some kind of agreement, and we do under some sort of agreement and respect, cordiality. But one day we know there is something there, so I really want to take una time una listen. It's about 1 hour and 10 minutes of interview, but today we go play just a short bit of it. Okay, we will play a short bit of the interview where una know one day, which is about 25 minutes, 20 or 25 minutes. And I really ask una, una take una time, una listen to this, because it's quite important. It's a kind of telling it's a kind of a telling interview, and it's a kind of a telling interview, and inside that interview many things were said. Many things were said. I just try to set the tape, particularly to outside the interview supposed to begin. So they ask una just bear with me, sort of a little bit. Okay. But it's important that we understand this aspect. So I will give we about 25 minutes of this tape. I'll give you 25 minutes of this tape. So Fambulendia una bear with me. Instead of 25 minutes, in fact, I will make 30 minutes, because I want believe now I want begin at one particular point where now the issue of to see. And we are often clearly. Una make a note to me quickly so I will adjust that, but it's important that we listen. Thank you very much.
The head of chancery, who is called the vote controller, and she is also Minister Counsellor, has taken off the staff of the permanent section. She is the administrative head. I am the head of the shop. I never touched money except my salary. And she and the accountant, they paid me. So they paid me, and they gave me a certificate which indicates that Mr. Yansaneh's last pay certificate was on the 1st of January. And then General says, we paid him in February. So they are now, that is the only thing they are investigating. So also the allegations are false. You blame someone 5 times according to you. You think that there will be a 6th time or I didn't know. Well, I don't know. They said that you can go now. You can say, whenever I say you go. Is it the 1 month salary? We'll find out who got it. So I'm going to find that out. Okay, fine. So then, obviously, you are a very powerful man. The question is why I can listen to one as Assistant General, very powerful position. You know, a very powerful party. It is a very challenging position. It's so powerful. It carries the connotation of we are sitting as an imperial form. Giving directives here and there. It's a management position. I serve as the linchpin for the wheel of the APC. When you have a weak, when you have a weak Secretary General, the linchpin in that circle where you have these folks, and it is not strong, and it gets out before the wind. I just say the opposite of it will be strong and powerful. So this is exactly what I was saying. The question for you, sir, is the next question is about the Tusim business. Okay. I just decide for compressed opinion one because this will be one general message from Yansaneh himself and you will explain. This thing very divisive up to this day, and the two people around there, and when they were informed, I use this one too. APC not elections forget the issue because eventually they lost out. Are there any regrets as to how the APC handled that succeeded, and what will be the message for the one the way this is going to go forward? Let me tell you, if we've been ready to send people inside, like they not come out. And not come out. Of the supremacy of the Constitution. The supreme law of this land, like the Constitution of Sierra Leone. You understand? Yeah. Section 76 say you cannot be a member of parliament if you get any other citizenship. Yeah, but it's very wrong. Since 1991. No, let me tell you what happened. Okay, sir. When we were in opposition in 2006, we moved the then government and the then parliament to ensure that an act to ensure that you can have citizenship from another country and have their own citizenship. You can participate. What we did not do, and what the parliamentarians did not do, is to make it this act, which is of course superior to the Constitution, we work in tandem with the provisions of Section 76 of the Constitution. You understand? They left it there in the Constitution. So this superior, which one is superior? The act or the Constitution? It is the Constitution that is superior. If we will not change that aspect, then you go and give somebody the law, they become only pertinent when you invoke it. Section 150 of the Constitution will talk about the rules of court, committee for procedure, and make rules of evidence. Now we'll bring that up. If we haven't bring that up, committee and go on, suffer. Yeah, but that was for a particular reason why you go and come up because then you be.
No. This one.
153.
No, what are they say now? 176 was brought out by a legal luminary. We say, hey, the element of superior law don't come into play. You will make this act. This act. All the family they get British, American, German citizenship. We want them for Canada. That is our own thing. But then, inside Parliament, demand the way they come out outside. Me call them. I said, hey, I don't study law. We are going to do something about this. They say, oh no, they tell me, say, we can go ahead. We don't do so. I say, hey. And people come and accuse us, oh, SFPP, then we get people that I say, give me evidence of people who were to see with the paper, even if now. If we can do that, they don't put members of parliament. They use this superior law. They know, just like how they make the commissions of inquiry, if we say true Supreme Court sit down and see for say it don't become inconsistent with the provisions of this Constitution. Yes, sir. So, what I think say for us, what is the way forward? What is the way forward? Now, make sure say that law they remove her, so that people that will get to see will come back. You know what say the people that will renounce it. No. The law has to be changed in Parliament, and we don't make a move with young people.
Yeah, that was the question, sir. Waiting at our position.
But the position is we don't call the parliamentary caucus. We don't tell them. And it will not be only in the interest of the APC, but also in the interest of the SFPP. We let them get NDC. In the interest of the other political parties, we are meeting. The legislative the legislative committee of parliament, we don't tell them. We will work out something so that this particular provision of the Constitution will correct.
So, for example, former Vice President Victor, they send conflicting and really confusing message out there. Being the number 2 previously at the party, and now some people think they will compromise. Would you want to speak to that, sir? I have decided not to worry about the whole thing because there is distraction intended to distract us from our own cause. A man who is being contest for secretariat would lock up convention. We left and day until he say he want to become an ambassador. We say, okay. That is when I came back. He will be ambassador in a big country like China. He came back. And several people then get, okay, we want the position of vice president. He tried. We are talk to the parliament. We have this. But another was what he said. It's rubbish. The man wanted the position at all costs. And when he got it, I sat in the same people with him. He said, that's Pinchon. It's not true. He not become vice president. That's the man who is telling us that he would have been killed if he had not. There are 6 other people who the president will prefer to us. But we said, you cannot have a president that is a Christian, a vice president that is a Christian, both of them. But in this case, we said we are going to take him to all the mosques, the important mosques, and beg our people. We are not to Islamic or theocratic country. We are from the same way we start to choose president. Now, Ahmed Tijan Kaban, no more. Men are Muslims. We were blind to religion, being a Catholic, but all Sierra Leoneans. 80% of the people of Sierra Leone are Muslims. So that's true. But they voted for Chakasibri, who is a Christian. They've accepted even the man then, Hamilton and Sir Albert. These are all Christians. Talking about the former president, sir. No, just the president and you, in a sense of almost like a very perfect, the former president and you see for almost like a perfect relationship. I don't think that several examples where people will say two of the same. There's no difference. And I want to ask you this question whether is there any difference in terms of policy, decision, like really argument before when they agree, or is this just like you just went to the president, the former president to you, don't say, no, go, and let me go. We recently visit Madabio. Now I said that, I think you don't have honest people who advise you. I said, we do advise our president. Sometimes he becomes annoyed with us. This is not a regime, maybe wrong. But we tell them the truth. This is what you lack, and that is why you are in trouble constitutionally. That is why you are in trouble. But others will listen, even if not what the person, even if not like the life, they no go respond. But sometimes what you advise that you see, you don't do it. Say this is the relationship between us. Not the relationship go psychopathic, no. And he is also a determined leader. If he's convinced about something, he says, to be. All right, thank you very much for that, sir. The declaration of him being, and I speak with great respect, the declaration of him making, of being the party leader for life, was that a calculated error? I say calculated because, of course, he will have a second thought about it. He not just wake up one morning and say, this is what I'm going to do. Look, when people want to get a particular mindset, they will get it. There was a meeting in Stockholm of young members of this party in which they decided that they will give him a position of life chairman and leader of the party. That forum was incompetent, but we allowed them to express their opinion as young people. We repudiated that statement in a NAC meeting, and we told them he was not going to. And let me tell you, he wanted to leave the position immediately after the election. Yeah, he is not very cautious. Well, the SLPP has made it impossible. If they were strategic, so they would make the mango assembly, because the man they want to go. But he suddenly discovered that the intention of the SLPP is to destroy the APC and push him out. And the people, the ordinary people, who live on a house, as if I do not go. You know, if you say they go, like, we don't know, so you're grateful to the APC. Then people are not come for the APC. You understand the APC. Until the mandate done, it was given a mandate for another 3 years by the people. The people, they don't want to class imprisonment. The National Delegate Conference of 2013 say it will be for 3 years. The 2015 extraordinary convention, which I will remove some manner. One of the resolutions say it is still until 2017 who will hold the convention. And in 2017, the resolution say it will be there for another 3 years. And we repudiate the idea of life chairmanship. But when the enemy wants, then they use them.
It's not indispensable stuff to the party because it sounds like there's no one else.
At a critical moment like this, some people become indispensable. At a critical moment. But he has said it, that when the best of us are gone and the worst of us, the great mundane world continues. Chapter Stevens was here. We all thought if Chapter Stevens go, APC die. APC not die. Ezek Umago, Kawadilo go, Momo go, APC is still around, and APC will play back.
Talking about the focus at that very meeting where you talk about, there were statements made by the former president, and one of them stand out up to this day, where the either grumble out there. There are many people who feel bad about our statement, and some of them be on record, they're not saying publicly, some are grumbling on the side, which was or remain today as what I can say popular, let it go from the party. Was that statement made in terms of the heat then, the moment then, or something in the way the president will make because maybe certain people have been try or do something completely different? You know, that was a statement necessary.
Well, maybe at the moment, but let me tell you, this is a president that realizes that he is not infallible. He set up, with the support of NAC, a 9-man committee, and they came out and used all sorts of names against him. They even called him a monocrat. They said he's a dictator, and so on. At the end of the day, he called a big meeting of all the district chairmen and councillors, members of parliament, all the party assembled here, and they apologized for all the mistakes that were made. He's not infallible. So he may have made certain statements, I don't know, but he has apologized, and the people have accepted the apology.
Make a retrospect quickly on the current elections in terms of black hierarchy. There were almost 28 candidates. Okay. I mention that because we don't go past that now, but we need to also understand the mindset. How come we arrive at 28 when we could have narrowed it down to possibly 4, 3 of the most powerful? Why would we have let that kind of thing play out? And again, what is out there that everybody was assured, including Victor Okarifo, who we talk about, like if you want to try, go and try. So that kind of muddy the waters instead of selecting the strongest. We allow this mixture of the weak and the strong approaching the when the election assembly approached, several people came out. They start to spend money. The normal thing is, we go to a convention, we say all man contest. I will just tell you before the interview that we went to Europe for conduct elections. In Europe, we go to Germany. Elections were conducted, they insisted on elections. Frankfurt in the most Sierra Leonean and more ABC than Berlin, Cologne, Bonn, etc., etc. So they assembled in Frankfurt. And they say, oh, the vote will be taken. We did take the vote. And the one man who win by one vote. The other people that secede, they're not getting nothing. They say they're not even call one meeting. You see, then democracy, I find. So we went to Belgium. Then to Holland first. In Holland, those who are interested, all met. They say, Mr. S, you will be the chairman. You will be this man I nominate you. Because then, a lot of SSPP people they don't go as, even they call themselves, observers. And other people. And they say, no, we don't want. We want everybody to be part of this process. So what do they say? Here. Then we go to the vote stand. And they made the voting. I will nominate you, will nominate, but everybody has a position. This is the Holland executive they meet. In England, the number is high, over 1,000. People along go with their fighting group, other people along go with this. From the night go that in received me, there was acrimony among 5 people that work for Tiba. So we have to call them. 5 of you want to be chairman of this party in London. Una go decide who that and who that. Una can't tell me. We all are. We're in a family. So they went there and they said, oh, you man, now you will be the chairman. No, they didn't do that. So I said, okay, in the presence of the High Commissioner, Edward Toure, he said, we are all look to yourself. Now, you, if we decide to make you as an ambassador or replace Edward Toure, but then why would I feel say for me the chairman? They all do. 4 of them wrote 1 person. So we say, okay, we're not going to be. We're not doing like this man. Now, Mr. What do we want? There is the position of vice chairman 1, vice chairman 2. There is the position of secretary. There is the position of public relations. Unasiba. That's what they did. And they went and spoke to their people in the hall. So we came later and we sat there and the public relations officer 91 gave a brilliant speech and said, we have agreed. This is our chairman and our chairman class. So what is undemocratic about it? Anyway, there was peace, at least, before an election. So if you come at an election, you go left arm. They let anybody who wants him up, let him up. That's trouble.
One final question, sir. And I'm coming to part. The first one will be, again, you say that we don't talk about rumors, but sometimes they have to be a rumor. And especially when the rumor is so strong, when the other side of the water refutes that rumor, so either they create for fun
hard to talk about, but I'm sure you will have heard this. That is still powerful matter through some arrangements and the rest of it. The room was so strong out there. I don't subscribe to it. And because he is somebody from the top level not come out or refute that as of yet. So it's still a carry on based on the circumstances at which APC got the election as well. They give credence, small credence to that story. Is there any credence to that story? That's one of the questions. The second part would be, looking back on reflection, is there, I know I asked the question again earlier on about regrets, is there anything APC will do differently, especially in 2023? And those are the two questions, and from there, any message where you get directly from the diaspora, then well, the issue really is about sellout. We just do meet President Yo, me and the Deputy Chairman of the we meet in the other community with a complaint there and so on and so forth. You people have to talk. We've spoken to the president. We said, we took the initiative when we get the power. When we get the power, we report about the state of violence, intimidation, arson, etc., etc. We form a committee, we call a cross-party committee. We go all over the country and the report, do nothing. Now, he called us. First, under the umbrella of APA, All Political Parties Association. A man called Sandy of C4C, there's a man who said we have been invited by the president. I didn't know that Sandy had been appointed coordinator for All Political Parties Association. I said, I'm not going, we're not going. Then, the leader of the SFDP in Parliament, C.D. Tunis, called me. If I get plenty issues of national importance, you want to talk to me? I said, no. State House must place a protocol. There is the Secretary to the President. There is the State Chief of Protocol. What if I go there now and the Paco, then go arrange something for me? They say we don't go rape somebody. The man say don't get state of emergency power. Then go for life imprisonment. What are they going to do? I have to go with something authentic that I have been invited by the president. So all the other political parties went there at 11 o'clock. We did not go. Then at 2 o'clock, after prayers, after the 2 o'clock prayers, we got a call from the State Chief of Protocol. I said, we're sorry, we're so busy, we cannot make it. He insists, still for go. That's I said, no. He said, go on up to the bar. He said, power for past 80 seconds, I can't really talk to him. But at about that moment, now I get called from the ECOWAS people and UN. So we already say, political parties on the beach, and that's not so not going to go. How do you want to put your face to this man? How do you want to talk? At the end of the day, it will be you people who will be blamed for not wanting to cooperate. With that, here we can look, we say, let's take the vote and let's go and go and listen. You know the situation they say, I think I was saying with the people kaka from going there. We are talking about bad words. You see? So, they said all sorts of things. Some people like say, oh, let's try and not give them money. And they don't give you money. So this is the thing. The human race society, they go now, people like they argue. That's the thing with the they don't send it back. And these ideas are being sold by people who are APC but who do not want us. Now, you come back to the fact. What some people wanted was for him to intervene in the SNPP politics by supporting one group against the other.
John Benjamin will get young group, Mara Bio get young group, but they were all part of the NPRC who and Bobby. They wanted them to support one group or the other. Okay. The eve of the announcement of the 2007 election, information has gone round that Mata was going to come with Kamajos. We proved that it was not correct. Then, Anes gives an olive leaf to us. He invited him to be with him when he went to London and other places. I know I told Mother, I don't know the man can afford, now you take the work out with you. We vote for the man, you know, work out with. Take somebody to know work out with. And then so you benefited. And they are saying, input you. I want to get arrangement. It is because Anes did not say the military would have go on the rampage and stop the election. That's what people wanted, even in our own group. When that did not happen, this one and they get arrangement. Because the man with the country and so on and so on. So when you have that type of mindset for people, it's difficult to take it away from them. But if that were the case, you will make somebody president to continue for perpetual as I said, Anes. So that has proved that that allegation cannot be corroborated with the present development with the take place and the country that Alex is made uncomfortable. You understand? So this is the state of play.
Yes, thank you very much. Any kind of message for the diaspora? Remember, I said that back at the NIA National Information Movement.
We have said all other groups when they fight for the APC, then they, as far as we concerned, the party gets in constitution, the party gets organs. If you say you know so APC, XSS APC, that's a new. But remove the APC, but let it go challenge. Let's see how far it goes. As far as we are concerned, the APC is monolithic, not a whole. Strong force, a phenomenon that the SLPP, then they get sleepless nights. They don't even understand. But they will understand 2023. I want to tell the people in the diaspora that they are now part of this structure of who they make as the sixth region. The sixth region. Only who said in the Sierra Leonean for work as the modality for get and structure so that you become participants in the running of the party. Let them keep the faith, let them bring unity among themselves, among the various branches all over the world. When they meet for camp and prepare themselves for assist we home-based for win the 2023 election. That is the message.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ladies and gentlemen, effectively this brings to an end the interview with the Secretary General of the All People's Congress, Ambassador Osman Yansaneh. You will be hearing from you soon. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, effectively that brings an end to this program. For those of you who are just to join now, you will find for long and revisit the program later, because the ending part of the program, now a very exclusive interview I hold with the APC Secretary General, Alhaji Osman Foday Yansaneh, in which it was very telling, very revealing. He was being candid, he was being speaking mind then. And he summarized boku thing and what they happen. So it's important for all to go listen for ourselves. A quick one again. Tomorrow I will be on the Mr. Suma Abdullahi brother. The interview now 1 hour and 10 minutes interview. I will not play the other part step. This last part will really important because of all them boku rumor then we don't go on. Malabi relationship with an Escobar and the rest of it, they don't clarify all. Victor Ford, they talk with it and talk, they don't clarify all. So you will let you make a decision yourself. Tomorrow I go there on the DJ Little program. So I ask all my fans, all my supporters, the world over, for come over to DJ Little program and watch what we get for talk day. I will send the link later on the forum. But effectively, this has been another brilliant run of the Then and Now program. We'll not be expect for letting it run 2 hours. It's now 2 hours. So I'll get for let una go. But as usual, we'll begin with fine music. We need for end with fine music. So now thank you very, very much for listening. Una, thank you very, very much for listening. And on behalf of the channel again, me now, una host and presenter, Prince Komade, say goodbye.
Hey,